welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast episode 231. I am your co-host, Kiley Wilde. I'm joined by special best friend of the show. I almost said special guest, but no, it's best friend of the show, Miketendo.
Hi, I'm the special friend of the show.
Special best friend of the show. And my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hola.
Hola.
More like OLED. But
OLED.
more on that later.
Yeah.
But I like to start the show every week that we do this show, asking our guests when we have one how their week's been and what they've been playing. Mike, how's your week been? What have you been playing?
It's been pretty good and a little bit hectic when it comes to games. I think I've got about 4 or 5 games on the trot at the moment, mainly because I got several codes for games in the last minute. And yeah, it's been fun. So I've been playing the Bubble Ghost remake, which is a remake of a Game Boy game. And that is developed by, I'm going to get the name wrong now, I think it's Nakano Studios, which is based in Spain. I've also been playing Which Way Up Galaxy games, which I'm sure Pete will be talking about a little bit about later as well. Which is a very, very fun party game, which is inspired by Super Mario Galaxy and the mechanics, like the planetary gravitational pull mechanics for that game. So that's a lot of fun. I've also been playing Warriors Abyss. Now, I know the game came out in February, but I managed to get a code for it now because there's a new update for new characters to it. And I've got really into that. And that was a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. Very, very entertaining.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah. That sounds very a good, like an eclectic mix, as they say.
Oh, yes.
What I am.
And then, of course, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition as well. So, got your RPGs, your hack and slash, your puzzle games and party games and all sorts. Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's my week.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty dang good week. Pete, what about you? How's your week been? And I know some of the games you've been playing, but more on that later. Pete, all that stuff I asked Mike a while ago.
Yeah. Week's been good. Been hectic as per usual because work. I won't tell you what industry I'm in, but if you know what March is in a certain industry, it's very, very busy for various reasons. I won't go into it. So yeah, but I have had a bit of time to play some games this week. I'm gonna talk about a few. I got about 30 minutes in of a certain Xbox game that got released this week called Atomfall.
Yes, I do want to talk about Atomfall.
I am interested about the setting, at least. I haven't had a lot of time to obviously play it. The setting is beautiful. It's really interesting, but it is very Fallout in UK.
It is.
And I can see myself enjoying it, but I don't think the combat's very good so far. But it is early on.
Yeah.
I've beaten someone to death with a cricket bat, and that's about as fun as you can get. But yeah, I'll have more thoughts as I go on, because I will give it another try. More of a try out.
I also will be streaming that, I think, this week.
Awesome.
I think that's on my thing. So, yeah.
So I will talk.
That's the Rebellion game, isn't it?
Yes,
it is.
So they're made by the people who made Sniper Elite.
Yes, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoy watching other people play.
Yeah.
But because bollock shots. That
just hurt.
I have no frame of reference.
I remember those shots. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. But the interesting
just exploding gonads. Yeah.
Ooh, now I feel queasy.
Exactly. One thing I noticed about Atomfall is that, first of all, it's quintessentially British.
Oh yeah.
As an American, watching on, but it has We Happy Few vibes.
It does, yeah.
So I'll be interested to.
Yeah, it is quite funny because the introduction. Yeah, the introduction to the game is quite funny because you have a guy obviously coming in to teach you some of the stuff about crafting, he's like, you can obviously do various different ways in terms of your dialogue options like you used to be able to in Fallout. So I went with the really nice option and tried to get the key card that you have to get in the nicest possible way. Once I got the key card, I then snapped his neck.
Pete!
Well, it was like, well, I'm going to die down here anyway. I was like, all right, I'm going to take away your misery.
Oh my gosh!
It was cool.
So is that a mercy kill then?
It was a mercy kill.
Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Stephen.
We're talking about Adam Fall, yes.
I'm not wasting a bullet on you, but I'll snap your neck, yeah. Okay.
Well, I didn't have a gun at that
very
point.
Hitman.
There was no guns. No, I didn't have a gun. So I couldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mike mentioned it as well. I've been playing Which Way Out Galaxy games. I'll talk more about that next week because I will be doing a full review of it then. Thank you for the code for that one. And Mike, thanks for allowing me your sloppy seconds.
Oh my gosh!
Also, I'm going to let Kiley talk more about this one, and I'll interject at times. But we played more Split Fiction.
We did.
Also,
Steven just said exactly what you did, Pete.
Yeah, exactly.
The bloke I was watching. Yeah, I was watching. Concentrated on walloping folk with a cricket bat.
Yeah, I mean there is an area that you can find a shotgun, so I did get it, and I was like, well, I've got a cricket bat now. I'm gonna use that because ammunition. It's rare. It's England. Who knows when I'm gonna get some again?
I mean,
that's a good point.
Everyone's got a gun round here. Every one of them mums. Who's got guns round here? Farmers.
Who else? Farmers' mums. Right. But the main game that I've been playing this week, and it's about time that I finally spoke about this one, because I finally started on a journey to 1988's Kamurocho, and I am playing Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
So I've got about 5 hours in, and I've been exclusively playing this on the Steam Deck because I bought myself a Steam Deck. Yes. So I figured I would install the first 6 games on the Steam Deck and give it a try because I'm due to go away soon. So I thought, hey, let's get it ready to go. Didn't expect that I'd play 5 hours of it already. I'm most of the way through chapter 2 at this point. Story is very, as you could expect, it's very Yakuza. Kiryu gets accused of a crime that he did not commit, and he has to try and clear his name. So I'm currently just trying to track down a credit agency who are using ex-Yakuza to turf people out of buildings. And I've come up against a couple of the side quests, and the side quests are equally as glorious as they are in every other game, and they're fantastic. There was one I got where a young child is queuing up for what is obviously supposed to be a reference to a Famicom game because it's 1988 in limited quantities. That game then gets stolen by a street punk, which then gets stolen by another street punk, which then gets stolen by another street punk, which then gets stolen by someone who is a Yakuza member. So after doing this tracking down an almighty beatdown of several people, you find out that the Yakuza person is actually buying it for his son. And the person who gives you this quest is the son. And they have a touching moment at the end of it, because of course.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and I saw it coming.
It came full circle.
It did. I saw it coming from a mile off, but the resolution is always brilliant.
That is also what she said.
Yes. And another side quest that I had is where I had to fake being a TV producer.
Oh, goodness.
So, equally as interesting as you could imagine from a Yakuza game, but it is brilliant. The main draw of this is obviously, if you played the Yakuza games, is that the combat is very different to obviously what you've got previously. And it feels very strange going back to a game that was obviously newer than the older ones, because Zero is canonically first in the series, but actually came out a lot later than some of the other ones. So they've had to dial back some of the fighting mechanics to how it probably was in Yakuza 1. But it's still very fun. I've got 3 stances at the moment, which are the Brawler, the Rush, and I can't remember the name of the third one, but it's mainly grapple based. And the combat is incredibly fluid and fun. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. So expect me to say a lot more about this game as I plough through the rest of the series. I've taken the first hurdle, guys. I'm getting there. So,
there you go.
So anyway, that's my week this week for gaming. Kylie, how's your week been?
Yeah.
What have you been playing? Where you been streaming it?
Yeah. All that stuff that I do. Because I do things. I have a life. Or I don't have a life. That's why I stream.
No, your life is on the internet.
Yes. That's for sure. But no, week's fine. Every day is like the day before it. But let's see. Monday. I don't remember what.
Doomy doom.
Was it Doom?
I believe so.
Did that? Probably. I'm on a Doom kick. I love it. Again, Doom Eternal for anyone that's following along.
You should have said you were on a Doom rip and tear.
I am on a Doom rip and tear until it is done. But I absolutely adore it still. I'm always going to adore it. It's like Hitman. They're my staples from here until the end of time. I recently have been given the opportunity, it may happen this week, may happen next week, to do a stream of Hitman VR.
Nice.
Now, I do not have a lot of success in VR. Because I have wonky eyes, so I can last about, this is what she said, 10 minutes. That's not what she said. That is not what she said at all.
I'd be a bit concerned if it was only 10.
The wonky eye. The wonky eyes on the last minute.
Wonky eye, yes.
Maybe both.
No, just the wonky eye. Yeah, so that, I'm not sure if that's going to be a live stream or if I'm going to make a video of it. It depends. I'll do a little test. If I can make it more than 10 minutes, I'll do a stream. Otherwise, I'll do a video, but it'll be...
to our world, Kylie.
So what system are you going to be playing it on?
It's going to be on the Facebook one.
MetaQuest.
Yeah, MetaQuest, whatever. See, that's how terrible I am. Someone's like, hey, I'm going to loan you this, and I didn't even like...
Yeah, it'll probably be in the MetaQuest free.
Yes, that, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about having to put my Facebook in, because I don't use Facebook, and I don't care about it.
Burner account.
Hello, Dinker! Yeah, that's probably what I'll do.
Burner account.
Dinker says, I'm here properly. Well, that is good. We're glad you're here. So
Hey!
yeah, I'm excited about that. Because I'd like to kill people in VR.
Good. I'm
in
glad
video
you
games.
But that does seem like it'll be a lot of fun for the viewers as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Wednesday we played a new game called The Baby in Yellow, which on the we'll say on the outside of the box, it's not in a box, it's obviously a digital download, but it is a babysitting sim. I didn't actually sit on the baby at any point, though I did try. But
you just got to test the limits of the game, you know.
Just one, yeah, exactly.
I'm reviewing a game, which therefore I need to check what can be done.
Yeah, I'll be the quality assurance team of one. But no, it quickly turns out, like, much like Me-Side, much like Doki Doki Literature Club, it's not what it appears to be at all, which I love. I'm really, really digging that genre. The genre that appears cutesy and unassuming and innocent, and then in one fell swoop, just
goes off the
changes.
deep end.
Cute but psycho, as I refer to it.
Nice.
You unleashed your inner Kyle Broflovsky from South Park, and you went to kick the baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't kick the
Kick
baby.
the baby.
Kick the baby. Yes. So that was a lot of fun. We'll probably finish that up this coming Wednesday. It is obviously I multi-stream on Wednesdays to both Twitch and YouTube, so it is over there on YouTube right now.
I've got to check it out. I haven't had a
It's
chance
crazy.
to look.
It's very interesting. Like, very curious as to where it's going. It's not going where I thought it was going to go. And I mean that in the best way.
Never does.
Friday.
Like, it's exactly like me side as well.
Exactly. Friday, I still haven't decided. I have a plethora of Frightening Friday games to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm overwhelmed by choice, if anyone knows how that goes.
But this is what you've been playing, so what was Friday?
So I played Doom.
Of course you did.
Because, yes.
Because it feels both manic and frantic Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Just another frantic Friday. Yeah, it's Doom Eternal. I don't tend to play games the day they release. Just because you don't know about bugs. Also, I don't know. I'm a tiny streamer. If there's like 500 people playing a first day release game, ain't nobody coming to see me play it and totally mess it up.
Some people would.
So, no. It would be so bad. They would not get the proper experience. But the Doom Dark Ages, that I will be streaming first day release.
Good. I hope you would.
Yeah. But all that to say, what we played on Saturday, we continued splitting the fiction, Pete and I. We did. I don't want to speak for Pete, so if I say anything that you don't agree with, obviously, as you always do, hop in and say no.
I don't agree with what you said.
Yeah. But I had a lot of reservations going in for 10 o'clock at the nearest restaurant. Going into this game because...
I don't agree with you.
Yes. Joseph Ferris, while I absolutely support his chutzpah, as they call it, I'm not the biggest fan of the way he goes about things. So, like, right out of the box, I've said this, I'm going to say it every week, because it's what we call in Texas, it's a booger bear. It's something that's in my crawl.
So basically in the UK, it's a bugbear.
Oh, really? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh! That must be where we got it from, then. So, yeah. And I know bugbears are in D&D, so, huh.
Yes, they are.
But we say booger bear. And the two protagonists they're female, which I love. Thank goodness. I love that. Give me more female protagonists. But he's done the thing where he stripped all the sexuality out of the females, so they're just these bland, flavorless. I can barely remember their names at times.
Zoe and Mio.
Yeah, which I think means my life. I think these are definitely
theory.
He's definitely self-inserted himself through them. That sounds terrible. But Nana says, yeah, I'm the same, Kylie. To be honest, he's very crude about things. I'm not sure what to do here. Exactly. Like his style is not my style, but I absolutely applaud him fighting the power. And
his writing leaves a lot to be desired, but the gameplay is spectacular.
Which is where I'm getting to, and Pete said it. He nailed it right on the head. This time, nothing's going to top farting pigs. We know this. There's not even going to be a game this year that tops farting pigs. Well, I say farting pigs. Pete had the pig that farted.
You had the slinky pig.
I had a slinky pig, which... Come on, man. Why couldn't you just make both of them?
I asked you if you what character you wanted to choose. You chose the character you did. I didn't get to choose these powers.
That's true. But this week, we got to actually explore a lot more vehicles, which I love. And there's a lot of side-scrolling, and I mean that in the best way. Mm-hmm. This game offers so many different varieties of gameplay that I am like, it just speaks perfectly to my ADHD brain. I'm just like, yes, let's just check. As soon as I get bored, Pete knows. He knows. He's played games with me long enough.
I'm glad you clarified. Thank you.
I get bored really, really fast. So if it doesn't change like that, I'm gonna be like off at like Never Land. Just be like,
yep.
But this is kept me engaged.
That's where you start wandering off.
I do.
And you still did it in this.
Or jumping off the edge. Yeah, I'm just like, woo. But we played this like 2 hours.
It was nearly 3, actually.
Yeah, which is a lot for me.
Wow.
Yeah, to stay like mentally engaged and everything. But I did start to kind of die off at the end. But now my character turns into Groot, which is weird which is very weird.
Well, you did for quite a lot of that section. My character was a very weird gorilla, and an odd an otterfish.
They called it an otterfish, but it was a fish weasel.
Yeah, it was definitely a fish weasel.
But the highlight for me, even though I hated it, I don't have depth perception and my motor skills are very, very bad. Why are you gaming? I like games. But we got to the Monkey King section, and I absolutely
the Monkey King section is so terrible.
The section is hard. That's what she said.
It's not so much that it was hard. It was just so appalling. Like, such a cliche, like, the whole time.
We had to be... It's true. We had to be Parappa the Rapper. Perfectly. Kick, punch,
like,
all in the mind.
Bit of Parappa the Rapper, a bit of Donkey Konga, a bit of, bit of DDR,
this section was... I don't know if it's specifically because it's Monkey King. There's been hints of Donkey Kong throughout, but this section, because it's, I guess, again, the Monkey King section, heavy on the Donkey Kong references, like heavy.
Yep.
But I still love the Monkey King. He was awesome. And then we fought a cat. This is what confused me.
Oh, the cat.
The cat was very, very... It was difficult. It looked like something out of like a Japanese type game, so it was very cool looking. But he kept spouting like phrases and stuff from RuPaul's Drag Race.
It was really weird.
It was weird because the aesthetic didn't match. Monkey King way more matched that than the cat, which is the Ice King. So that was kind of weird. I was like, Joseph, what are you trying to tell us? There's something here, and I can't quite reach it. But it's still, we did it. It was fun, and now we've got probably one more.
I think at most 2 more sessions, but I think there's probably a good few hours, like a good couple of hours left of this game, possibly.
Yeah, and so I do say that anyone that is looking for a fun co-op experience, I like this better than I like It Takes Two, which I know Pete loves. It Takes Two.
I really liked It Takes Two, but I think I'm enjoying more of the variety of this game.
Yeah, big time. And then outside of that, that's all I've been playing, Pete. Wow, I talked a lot.
It's fine.
Now,
notice the difference, right? Mike breezes through his games and talks very briefly about them, and we just go into massive amounts of detail and bore the living crap out of everyone.
Well, but here's the thing. Our lovely, beautiful listeners out there and watchers, our very amazing watchers. I'm about to toss this over to these two guys, because it is Nintendo week over here at Rapid Reviews.
Well, I'm
declaring that.
No, I'm gonna preface this. It is not Nintendo week this week.
It's not.
For the next 2 weeks, it's going to be very Nintendo centric. We'll get to that.
Which we all know.
Nintendo Fortnite.
But we all know what that means. I sit back, I drink, I play with chat, and these two guys are going to take you on an epic audio journey and visual of the Nintendo Direct and what
audio journey. There's nothing visual about that.
Nor this.
Well, I'm going to sit back, drink, and enjoy both the audio and the visual. I'm tossing it and my cookies over to Pete and Mike. They're both receivers. Anyway!
I dropped it. I dropped the ball.
Oh no! Mike's dropped the ball!
Quick, grab it.
Pete.
Handle it.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Our audio listeners are just having the time of their life.
It's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. Anyway, moving on. So, this week we're going to talk about the surprise Nintendo Direct that got released on, what was it, Thursday?
Now you know I don't know.
Thursday? Yeah, Thursday.
Sweet.
Thursday.
Yeah, it was a day that ended in Y. So, yeah.
It was the third day. I remember it being the third day. Monday, 1 day. Tuesday, 2 day. Wednesday, what day? Thursday, the third day. There we are.
There you go.
Showing my age now.
Yeah, anyway, so...
Showing my age.
Sure. So, yeah, they had a surprising Nintendo Direct, mainly solely focused on Nintendo Switch 1 games, with no mention of the Switch 2, because we've got next week's big reveal, let's say.
And I do have to say this, just as an outside observer. I did, in fact, see several announcements on various social media platforms
We
where
will
Nintendo.
get to those. Go on.
You mean their pre-announcement? It was a big red square that said, "We will not be discussing."
Yeah.
What is it called? Switch 2. Okay.
Yeah, we'll not be discussing any Switch 2 stuff. And it was please temper expectations, basically.
I was like, that was unprecedented to me as an outside observer who knows how the Nintendo fanboys can be.
Oh, I know.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
I
Mike.
swear I'm going to drink now. Okay.
Well,
I feel personally attacked here.
Well, let's just put it into context, because Mike,
I want to speak to your manager.
Okay, Mike.
I am the manager here. Anyway,
I'm the drinker.
So anyway, so for full disclosure, me and Mike are in both a set of Discords, for Miketendo 64's Discord. Go and join it, please do. And we are in a WhatsApp group that we organise for when we do EGX visits and that, but we do often post a lot of nonsense in there. So there was a lot of discussion being had about the rumour that was going on beforehand, and I think most of us all believed that it was complete guff. And it turned out to be true.
What was the rumour, Pete?
Well, the rumour was that there was going to be a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Oh!
It just wouldn't surprise me. It's like such a Nintendo move.
Yeah. It was like, well, we're a week away from like the Switch 2 stuff. Why are we getting a Direct? And then it was like, boom, we're getting a Direct for some strange reason. So, what I'll do is I'll run through the Eurogamer article that, whilst it's not in actual running order, it will talk about every single game that was announced at the show. If you've got anything in particular that you want to mention, just mention it. If there's a game that you go, I want to talk about this more, just go for it, and so that we don't spend ages talking about it.
Well, if you want to go through the whole list first, and then we'll pick at the games that we really want to talk about.
Actually, that's a good idea.
I think.
Thanks, Mike. So, right, so the first game that was shown off, and this is actually in order, was Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake. So it had a new trailer, and it's launching in 2025, so no actual release date apart from the release window. We had AI, the Somnum Files, which is No Sleep for Kanadate, which is the subtitle for the game. Coming in July 25th, 2025. Atlus have brought out a new remaster, which is Raido, the Mystery of the Soulless Soulless Army. So this is actually a remaster of a old Shin Megami Tensei side stories game, which I believe, according to my checking out of it, was actually the first one that got released in North America back in 2006. But I didn't know that, so the Rydell series. Next, we had seen some murmurings about this one, and we also got an episode of... Why am I blanking? A Secret Level, that's the one. Called Shadow Labyrinth, which is a Metroidvania Pac-Man game. So, we'll go into that a little bit more. Next, there was Patapon 1 and 2 Replay. We'll get into the significance about that one and a potential other game a bit later on. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is coming out. Patapon was coming out in July of this year. Story of Seasons remake of Grand Bazaar, the DS game, is coming out this year, so August 27th, 2025 for that one. Metro Prime 4 Beyond got a new trailer, still 2025, no actual release date for that. Disney Villains Cursed Cafe shadow dropped on the day. We may go into that, but I don't believe we will talk about that one too much. the creators of Wargroove's next game called Witchbrook got a trailer. It's out holiday 2025. The Eternal Life of Goldman, which is a cel-shaded platformer, is coming out holiday 2025. Gradius Collection, so for the 40th anniversary, they've got Gradius Origins, which is due to come out in August of 2025. But this was quite an interesting thing because they are actually adding a new game into it, a brand new in the Salamander series. So Salamander 3 is coming to the collection. The creators of the game Crypt of the Necrodancer and the Cadence Hyrule games have got a new game coming out called Rift of the Necrodancer, which is more like a Guitar Hero style game this time. That is due to... it actually got shadow dropped. I forgot that was even a thing. One of the big games that they had to finish off was the not one of the big games to finish off. Sorry, I got confused about this one. Tamagotchi Plaza. You'll understand why when I tell you it later on. Tamagotchi Plaza got revealed, so this is due out on 27th of June 2025. New trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA. No actual release date again, just late 2025. A surprising addition to the Nintendo Switch, a series that has not been seen in a long time, due for release in 2026, Rhythm Paradise Groove. So this is the Rhythm Heaven or Rhythm Paradise series, depending on where you are in the world. A set of weird mini games. They had a sizzle reel of High on Life is coming to Switch. There was another big announcement that happened towards the end, but I'll get to that in a while because I believe we'll talk more about it in big detail. Action RPG Star Overdrive got revealed, so April 10th. So this is an action RPG, as I said. Wandering Village, which is coming out in July 2025. King of Meat is a co-op hack and slash game. Is coming out in 2025. Lose Lagoon is also will be coming out a bit later this summer. Fantasy Life R got a new trailer and a release date. So Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, May 2025. Saga Frontier Remastered 2 is coming out this. I say is coming out. Is out. Got shadow dropped. Monument Valley is coming to the Switch and will be out in summer 2025. I will talk a lot more about this one. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots is coming out on the Switch in 2025. We'll get to that in a bit.
Is that why you're wearing that t-shirt, Pete?
What you mean, this old rag? Anyway, next up, well, I say next up, Dot Emu and Tribute Games are coming back with another game. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. We will talk a lot more about that in a while. Tamagotchi Life is coming back as well. Living the Dream is due out in 2026. Nintendo also revealed a new app for mobile phones called Nintendo Today, which is how they're probably going to centre most of their Nintendo Switch 2 news going forward. So Shigeru Miyamoto revealed this.
I'm out of a job.
Sorry?
Because that means I'm out of a job, because if Nintendo are now got a dedicated app for their news, don't need me anymore.
No,
That's not true.
Well, they do and they don't.
I have to cover the other game.
Yeah, you probably will, yeah. So, yeah.
It'll be Mike PlayStation.
Mike Station.
So that's if PlayStation actually have any games. And the final thing is, because I wanted to go back to this one, but Nintendo revealed virtual game cards. We'll talk more about that. So let's go into it a little bit more. So Mike, as someone who obviously watched the Direct, probably not at the same time as all of us did, you might have watched it a little bit later. What did you think of this as a whole?
Well, to be fair, to be honest, I mean, there was no, I can't even justify saying that anymore. It's like there's a little bit for everyone. It's like, yeah, but it's very, very clear that this is kind of, we are still in that winding down period
Yeah.
of the Nintendo Switch as we transition to the Nintendo Switch 2. And it's almost, I'm going to get caught on record for saying this, it's almost like scraping the barrel at this point.
Agreed. I said the exact same thing to someone who asked me about this at work on Friday. I said, this definitely feels like end of life Switch, direct. Like, let's just put out what we can, basically, and see whether or not we can justify any more additional sales of the system and a few extra games. But obviously, with the potential, with the fact that all of these are going to be backwards compatible anyway, doesn't necessarily matter.
No. I mean, I know like the last big direct that we had, or I might be skipping a direct here somewhere, where we had the likes of like Mario and Luigi Brothership and, those kind of games that kind of just like fill in the void. And obviously, we got announced like Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition,
Yep.
which absolutely enjoying it, and I'm happy to have that on the Switch and being able to give it a proper go this time, because I did have it on the Wii U, but it came later in when I actually bought the game. It was later on in the Wii U's life cycle, so it was probably around about like 2017, and then Breath of the Wild came along, and then I shifted, and then I never went back to the game. So now that it's on the Switch and there was no other big titles, I was been able to go back into it, and I've put in about at least 30 hours into it now. So I'm still only just scraping, the midway point to it, the story wise.
Yeah.
But on the whole, for this direct, I mean, I'm happy for Tomodachi Life, living the dream, because I do like the Mii's, and I missed out on the 3DS game as well, and I'll be happy to play that. As for Rhythm Paradise, you see, I was getting excited because I thought you was going to say Tomodachi Life, and then you said Rhythm Paradise, and I felt like a bit like a plum because I'm not overly hyped about that game. I know a lot of people are going to enjoy it and whatnot, and all for them. I mean, the more games there are, the more variety of games there are. There's always going to be something for everyone. But the directs all seem to be following a very, very similar pattern at the moment. It's like, here's your 2 to 3 Square Enix games. Here's your Marvelous games, which is going to be a farming sim and RPG, that kind of thing. Maybe a couple of things from Nintendo. And to be fair, we've been waiting on news and stuff for Metroid Prime 4 for absolutely ages. And it's like, we're now this close. It's coming out this year, supposedly, and we still don't have an exact release date. Which makes me wonder if they're going to announce the release date in the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct.
We might be able to get to that in a bit, but we'll talk. Because you've touched on it, obviously, and because of parity, let's talk more about Metroid Prime 4, because I'm going to go on record and say I think this was probably the best game of the show. It looks spectacular. So one of the things that they've introduced this time around, so they're on a completely different world. They've never seen it before, obviously, within the Metroid universe. But Samus has psychic powers and is able to essentially utilize those for environmental puzzles, but also to control her blast shots as well, which I think is very interesting. So I think graphically this looks incredible, and I'm surprised that this is still actually running on a Nintendo Switch. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of effery, let's say, and say that we might not actually be seeing some full Nintendo Switch gameplay of this. It might be the Switch 2 version.
Some people have been saying that online. They have been saying, "Oh, this looks too good to be on Switch. This has got to be Switch 2. It looks far too good to be on Switch." And it's like, well, the remastered for Metroid Prime, the Metroid Prime remastered, looks absolutely stunning on Switch. It
does,
so, if done correctly, there's no reason why it can't look as good as it does.
I don't disagree with you there, because Metroid Prime Remastered looked fantastic, and Retro Studios are always like really decent in working with what they have. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is like one of the best looking games on the Wii U, and run like an absolute dream as well. So They are really good at what they do at Retro, so I wouldn't be surprised if there is some, it is running well on a Switch, but I don't see it looking this good on a base level Switch. On the OLED, maybe. But yeah, so I would say that's a highlight for me.
What did surprise me is that we didn't get an announcement for Metroid Prime 2 or 3.
I'm not surprised about that. I am going to leave. I'm going to put a pin in this one because I think something else might happen with those at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Let's put a pin in it for now. So, is there any other games that you specifically wanted to pick out and discuss in a major way? Because I've got a few that I probably wanted to talk about.
To be fair, not really. I mean, there were a couple of games that, okay, maybe I'll pick them up, or because we're on like good, got a good connection with some developers and publishers.
Sure.
And it's like, well, if they send us to the game, we'll definitely review it and cover it for our website. And that, you know what, maybe by actually playing it, we will actually enjoy it a hell of a lot more. I mean, Pokemon, I suppose, is the biggest one, but it's like we've just literally had the Pokemon Directs, end of February, and here we are at the end of March, and we're learning a little bit more about the game. It's like, but we've already learned a big chunk of the game.
Yeah,
it's not really showed off much more, except for, like ranked battles.
The only thing
Z to A.
The only thing it did is obviously talking about the league itself and going from, like you said, rank Z to A, and it feels very much on the nose that they've named a game Pokemon Legends ZA, and that is actually the concept of the game. Weird.
Ranked battles.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I'm gonna go on record and say I still think this looks awful. I don't like the look of this game at all. I think, visually speaking, it feels very much like a very early GameCube game. Again, Pokemon, Game Freak and Pokemon Company just do not make their games looking very nice, and it looks like it runs at probably about 20 frames per second as well, and I worry about that again. And it will be a full price game, and everyone will eat it up, it will sell like hotcakes, and Pokemon Company will never learn a lesson.
No.
So,
no.
But hey,
which is wild, because then but it's wild when you think of it, because then you have the likes of like Monolith Soft, and the absolute masterpieces that they've created with the likes of like Xenoblade Chronicles, and then like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, working on Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, the work on Splatoon, a number of other titles, and you think this game looks absolutely amazing on Switch, and it's like, Monolith Soft were behind it. It's like, maybe we just come to the point where Pokemon should just give the game to Monolith Soft, and they will make it look amazing.
I don't necessarily think that. I just think that they need to spend a bit more time on actually working on the game rather than keep pooping them out.
Yeah.
So, but as you said,
they've got to sell that merchandise.
Yeah, and then they've got the anime to worry about. So
yeah.
So because obviously there's not many other games that you wanted to mention, I'm going to pick out a couple because I believe that these might warrant a few bits of discussion. Specifically the two, which are Patapon 1 and 2, and Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, because to the eagle-eyed viewers or the eagle-eared listeners, Kiley is wrecking her flat or her house. But to the eagle-eyed viewers and those who are in the know would know that those are PlayStation IPs. Patapon 1 and 2 were originally on the PSP, and Everybody's Golf has been a PlayStation franchise since the PS1. Used to be known as Hot Shots Golf in certain parts of the world, but they rebranded it for Everybody's Golf, and hasn't been seen since the PS4 version. So these are actually been licensed out to Bandai Namco because the studio that used to make them, Japan Studios, got closed down by Sony. So, Yeah, I thought this one was interesting because not only are they coming to PlayStation, but they're also coming to Switch. And I'm here for it because Everybody's Golf is fantastic. It's an incredible series. And Mike, I don't believe you've had the chance to play them yet, so this might be your good opportunity to give them a try. Oh, and Dad could correct me and says and PC as well, so yeah, thank you.
I mean, it's got to be better than Mario Golf.
Oh, the one on Switch was appalling as well, which is not very... Like, it was such a disappointment because I love the Mario Golf series, but Everybody's Golf absolutely trounces it, I'm not going to lie. So I did put it in our WhatsApp group. I said, you better be prepared for a game chat episode on that.
Yes.
So, yeah, be prepared.
I will definitely make it happen.
Good. I mean, it's 4-player online, so we might be able to get a few extra people in for it. It'll be a good laugh. But yeah, I think the game looks fantastic. I'm not as interested in Patapon because it's a rhythm action game. Not really my kind of thing, but just interesting enough to see Sony actually licensing out these IPs. The other one...
I suppose if Bandai got hold of them, then maybe PlayStation didn't have too much of an opinion in it, as long as they came to PlayStation as well.
Well,
it surprised me that they weren't like a timed exclusive or something, but then maybe Bandai stuck to their guns and said, no. The only way this works is if it's on all systems.
I don't think they outright own the IP, Bandai. I think it's just the fact that they've been licensed by Sony to make these games and make them multi-platform, I guess. They probably have seen that they're not huge sellers on being an exclusive console, so probably are looking to leverage that. Fair enough. The major one that I want to discuss, and this is going to be a day one purchase without a doubt because I think it looks incredible. Marvel Cosmic Invasion, so the .emu and Tribute Games 4-player beat 'em up, which is very much in the style. So for those who don't know Tribute Games, they were the ones who made Shredder's Revenge, and that game was incredible. .emu have been involved in Streets of Rage 4 as well. So very much all in their wheelhouse of the fact that they're bringing back these classic IPs. But I wouldn't say this is a classic IP. It very much plays into the old X-Men arcade sort of play style. But I did notice a lot of stuff in terms of this trailer that what they've used as their basis is actually quite interesting. Because a lot of the characters, like Captain America, Wolverine, Nova, Storm, all have moves that are taken from Marvel vs. Capcom. So they've used the fighting style in there, but they've, I just think it looks utterly incredible. It looks like a hell of a lot of fun. So, yeah, this was a bit of a surprise, and nice to see that composer from Shredder's Revenge, T. Lopes, and Johnny Atma, or Gametal, is also back on the soundtrack. The guy who does our theme music. Yeah, so nice to see them back in work with this as well, which is awesome. So, yeah, big shout out on that one. But yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you. This was definitely a filler direct. I don't think it needed really to be done as such, but it was nice to have a little bit of an extra thing so they weren't overcrowding the schedule next week when it came to the Switch 2 stuff. Because I think the Switch 2 stuff, there's going to be a lot more to be said other than just games. So,
I mean, I can understand why they've done it. It's because, obviously, with the Switch 2 coming around, there's always going to be some people that are not going to be happy. It's like, okay, so, like, for example, if we didn't have this Switch 1 direct, I'd be like, but what about the Switch? I'm not going to be able to buy a Switch 2 just yet. Is that going to have any games, or have they just done with it now? You know what I mean? And it's like, well, here you go, here's the Switch 1 direct to, cater to you. And it's like, but where's my next Mario? Where's my next Zelda? Where's where's Star Fox? I mean, how long has he been in hiatus for, the poor guy?
I know.
Yeah, I think he's been in hypersleep.
Yeah. He's got barrel rolls he needs to do.
Oh, that was awful. Like, because there was a section in Split Fiction where it was they specifically mentioned that. Yeah. I'm going to have to do a barrel roll.
She was like, do a barrel roll or something. And I was like, do a barrel roll.
It was terrible. So yeah,
yes.
just to finish, just to cap this one off, is there any particular grade that you would like to give it, so you can give a letter rating or a number rating or whatever? Nana, can you hammer?
Do a barrel hammer.
I will go with, I'll say a 6.5, 7. I think.
It was okay then.
And the only reason why it's pulling a 6.5, 7, it was okay. The only reason why it's pulling a 6.5, 7 is because of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, to be fair, and obviously Tomodachi Life living the dream.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree
The other games,
with you.
I mean, that's just my personal opinion. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, other people are going to take from it what they want or what they will. And maybe for them, they actually thoroughly enjoyed it. And for other people, it was a big pile of steaming. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say any more. But, to each their own, to be fair. And like I said, okay, there are some games. Now, I suppose what brings it down for me a little bit is that we've had so many of these RPGs now and so many farming sims. It's like we go a year and there's probably about 5 or 6 different farming sims.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely hot.
And I think I would sooner have it a game that just got continuous updates. So, like, for example, like Stardew Valley, which that game came out, and then there's just more updates and more updates to keep the game going. Whereas you get these other games that are like one and done kind of thing, and it's like next year, here's the next one. It's like then you have to do everything all over again. It's like football games for me. Now, I know I like Mario Strikers, and I know a lot of people didn't like it on Switch, but I quite enjoyed it. But I don't like FIFA. Right. I can't get behind FIFA.
Yeah.
But the difference is Mario Strikers is one game on a system, and then on the next system they may have another one.
Yep.
Whereas FIFA is every single year, and then you're building up your squad again and again every single year, and the people that are spending money on it, look at that.
Yeah, I agree.
Only to do it all again the year after. So but then, hey, how people live their lives, that is.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I'm going to utilize what Danker has said in here and call the direct shiitake mushrooms. It wasn't for me. It was
please
not
eat some.
Yeah, it was not very good for me. Whilst there were a couple of highlights, I didn't think it was overly entertaining. It was 35 minutes of, and we haven't even discussed obviously the virtual game card stuff yet because. Wow, but we could obviously talk more about that in a moment because that's going to be a major selling point for the Switch 2 as well. But yeah, it wasn't overly great, and for them to end on... The big thing for this is, oh yeah, we've got a phone app. Oh dear, this is quite bad. I was like, okay, cool, Miyamoto's still working, nice to know, but my god, how has he phoned in this amazing reverence for this phone app? It's like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, this is probably, if we're going on the rapid review scale, this is probably a 1.5 to a 2 out of 5 for me. It was quite bad.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Like I said, to each their own. And me personally, okay, it wasn't, huge highlights for me, but the fact that, Rift of the Necrodancer and Cadence is still going and stuff like that. I like to see that. I like to see games doing other things, doing something different with their games. Whereas when you get the same like series and they don't change the formula that much or if at all, and it's like it gets a bit stale. And it's like, well, in every single direct there is a farming sim. Every single direct there is an RPG game that's been created by Square Enix, and now it's HD 2D. And I get it. That's fine. And it just seems that's the staple for these directs now.
Look,
and then it's like, okay. And
there's another remaster, and there's a new collection, or it's just, I get it. It's becoming very formulaic at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the Nintendo Today app, obviously they're going to be showing a lot more of like Nintendo Switch 2 news into it once the direct for that has gone out. So people will be able to look to that for news rather than, hounding social media and whatnot. So I can see, the point of that. And also those that have like the Nintendo mobile games like Fire Emblem Heroes, Mario Kart Tour, Pikmin Bloom, and all that kind of stuff. They can see like updates for or events for things in the games. So that is helpful because a lot of people who may be playing these games and they don't play them very often, they might want to go back into it. And it's like, oh, but I've missed this now. So, what's the point?
Yeah.
So they can keep up to date with that. And then also like Super Smash Brothers as well. So like games on the Switch too, Super Smash Brothers or Splatoon and that, they also have events in the calendar part of the app. So you can see what's coming up, and obviously Pokemon as well. So
If you want to know more about that particular app, I can point you in the way of a good video that I watched. It happens to be on Miketendo's channel where he does a full breakdown of the actual app.
No way.
Yeah, and I think it's about 9 minutes long or
About
something.
seven
I'm not going to take up any more of your good people's time.
Yeah. But it was
If you
quite a
wanna watch it,
definitive
just watch it there.
breakdown.
7 minutes in heaven.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did watch that whilst I was in the gym.
Funny enough, I think I did that video at least twice because it came over to about 12, 14 minutes before. And it's like, no, this is far too long. Far too long. Try and streamline. So then it's like, when you watch the video and it's like, comes to like the 5-minute mark, and then I start like really going through things quickly and say, okay, so here's some notifications for this, and then here's a little bit of that. People are watching. It's like, bloody hell, it goes on for a long time, doesn't it? I'm going to shut up now.
It was pretty definitive. It was the definitive edition, let's say. So anyway, the main reason as well why we've come together for this one and why we've got Mike on as well, not just for a Nintendo Direct, but we've got the Switch 2 presentation coming up on Wednesday, so in a few days' time. So I wanted to talk, obviously, about what we can come to expect or what we think we might be seeing going ahead. So one of the things that we aren't going to cover is the virtual game cards, because we're going to talk about that now because it was featured in the Nintendo Switch Direct. Virtual game cards are a very interesting prospect, and it is essentially Nintendo's idea of doing game sharing, but in the most Nintendo way that you could possibly do. Let's just say that I was watching Direct at the time, and I went, Nintendo, you've had a good idea, but you cannot explain anything very well.
Yeah, that's true.
No. And yes, there are other applications and other game publishers out there who have utilised, game sharing, such as PlayStation and Xbox, probably do it a little bit better of a way. But I actually don't think this is a bad idea. So, Mike, do you want to explain what the virtual game card system is?
Right, so basically this is going to be taking over the premise of like digital games that you have downloaded from the eShop. Mm-hmm. You will be able to share them between two consoles of your own consoles. So basically, much like a physical game, as they say in the presentation, you can unload it from one Switch and put it onto the other. But you have to have a local wireless connection for the first time around to do it. So you have to have both present in the same space.
Yeah. So
and then afterwards, you can just bounce it between.
So if you're on a family account, like for instance, like myself and Mike are, you could do it because they did say that you can have up to 8 systems doing it between each other.
All right.
But you have to be on the same Wi-Fi connection at some point in time to do it.
Yes.
Right.
I think we were in this group that we were in. There was a lot of misconception about actually what it all meant and I think some of this is mostly down to the fact that Nintendo didn't explain it very well. They tried, but they just don't do it very well.
Well, my understanding, or after watching the video a good number of times, so there are 2 methods. So you can have your own Switch. You have 2 of your own Switch. And you can take the game and stick it onto the other console and vice versa. Not a problem. Mm-hmm. Then there's lending games to people in your family group. Right. And then they can have it for a period of 2 weeks. And then it automatically comes back to you. But you can only send one game to a person at a time. So, like, for example, I've got Pete on my family group. I've got my brother Jack. I've got my sister Ashley. I've got a couple of other friends as well. So I could theoretically send a game to Pete, send a game to my sister, send a game to my brother, different games. They can all play them. But it seems you have to do that local wireless, not online.
Yeah, you can't
Which
just
is
go.
wild.
You can't just sit there and go, right. We're on the same family
Yeah.
account, but we're in different countries. There is no way that we can actually do this.
Right.
Which is
Yeah,
what
'cause-
the problem is with me and Mike, or yourself
Yeah.
and your brother Jack, and your sister.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
But that actually kind of makes sense in a bad way.
So I'm
Because-
hoping if we can, as a community, make a big enough sound about it, but enough
Yeah.
noise, then maybe Nintendo will think, okay, we'll make you
Yeah.
extend it to online
Mhm.
once they understand where people are coming from. Because, like,
Yeah.
you know, I've got family in another country, and I do
Exactly.
have a friend down the road who has his own website, and the very great Adam Miller of the Elite Institute, who lives down the road from me.
Oh,
So
right.
I technically do it with him. Lend games to him, no problem. But like when it comes to like Pete or my brother,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
or my
impossible.
sister,
The only
it's
way
like-
that we're ever going to be able to do it is if you come over to the UK or if I come over to Spain, and we happen to be sat on the same wireless connection at some point in time.
There's a good reason to
Exactly.
go to Spain.
Yeah.
yay! I mean, there's always a spare bedroom here for you and your lovely lady, Pete. So whenever you want to come out for a holiday,
Go. I'll bear that in mind if I ever need a holiday.
yeah.
Or if I ever need 14 days of a game.
There you go.
But
You can
yeah,
come out for a week and then take the game back for you for a week.
yeah, awesome. So one of the things that I've actually been seeing doing the rounds on this one, which I've actually found really, really funny, is people have been liking this system, the game lending system, to the 21st century blockbusters. And people have been saying that they're now going to start charging people who are on wireless connections £10 for rental periods. I mean, it's a good idea if you can get on the same wireless connection.
Yeah.
You can just lend the game for
It's
14
legit.
days and then go, do you want it for another 14 days? Well, that's another 10 quid. People
Just
can
buy
make...
the daggum game.
At that point, you might as well just buy the game. But yeah, it's just... Especially...
You could be the Netflix of gaming and just be like, you know,
Give me 20 quid.
it's £2, and then increase it the next week and be like, it's £4 now, and then the next, now it's £5 with ads.
No, but the good thing is that apparently it does create a local save file on your system.
That's good.
So
you
it doesn't
if
mean that you
get it in
aren't
the
going
future-
to... Yeah, you are going
Yeah.
to be able to continue your
That's
progress. So say massive JRPG like Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, which will take around 100 odd hours to complete. You're probably not going to do that in 2 weeks. If you then wanted to decide to go back and play it again or borrow it again from Mike, perfect. You've got a save file for it. You don't have to restart it. Fantastic. So I see some
I mean,
benefits in the
that
system.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to it, and it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. I mean, there is an ad hoc version at the moment that I've been doing with my brother for the last few years, especially when it comes to reviewing games, because I have his account on my system,
Yeah.
and he has my account on his. So if, like,
okay.
we are reviewing games or anything, and the other one wants to, try it, they can download it using that account
Yep.
on their system or on mine, but you can only play it through the account that it's connected to.
Yeah. It's like the same thing
So
if you
if
have
I
like
download a game for my
worldwide-
brother, then I have to pay it on his account.
Yeah. So
That makes
But this lending system, although that takes it away from that, and you get the game for 2 weeks, you can play it on your account.
yeah.
So it's not like, okay, I can, borrow the game from this person, but I have to play it on their account. No, you can play it on your own account.
Yeah, but the only thing is obviously you have to be in the same room at some point in time or on the same wireless connection at some point. It's sort of like and Nintendo doesn't want to say it, but we all know what technically it is. It's some sort of DRM check-in system.
That's what it is. I mean, that's absolutely what it is. But I wonder, I'm going to say a horrible thing, and FBI, don't listen.
They're listening.
If you were both on the same VPN server.
Oh, I think you may have found a loophole.
I don't know.
Or a
I didn't say that. I never said that. I was thinking out loud. I drank a lot of tequila tonight. Those are just words that came out of my mouth. They mean nothing, but yes.
No, but it is something that possibly people could look into once this system does go live in April.
Yeah.
And it will be available on the Nintendo Switch as well as the Switch 2.
Oh, right.
They did confirm that it's available on both.
Right.
I mean, I think that's why they're doing this whole virtual game thing, that you can move it over onto a different console. Because
That's
obviously, when people buy the Switch 2, they're going to want to shift their games over to the next
Exactly.
console. And to be fair, it isn't. Some games on the Switch are easy enough to do, or simply cloud version or re-download. It's not a problem to a new console. Whereas other games like Pokemon or Splatoon, where they have save data that you can't update up to the cloud, so that people can't
cheating.
Yes, which people do anyway, regardless.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, they do.
anyway,
Yeah.
They do.
not me. I don't cheat much.
No, my rank in Splatoon is legitimately low.
Yes, legitimately low.
So
It
anyway,
happened to me with Splatoon 2. So I beat that. I beat the Octo expansion. I got all the, the icons and items and all that.
Yeah.
And then I went to transfer it over to my other console, and I lost everything.
oh, of course.
Oh, that's a terrible feeling.
Because I wasn't paying attention on
Yeah.
one little thing, and I lost the lot. And it's like, even if they had some kind of update or whatever to the cloud, just, for whatever. But no,
Yeah, it would have
lost
been
the lot.
nice.
It's
But
like,
hey.
well, I'm not playing this again then.
Yeah,
Splatoon 3 it is.
I don't blame you. Splatoon 2 is a better game anyway, but still. Yeah. Right. So, I basically tasked Mike with the following things for predictions for the Switch 2.
Mhm.
So, I tasked him with hardware, games, potential updates to the NSO, price and release date. So we're going to go through all of them as such, but we're going to start with the hardware. So Mike, I want a prediction from you what you think in terms of the hardware of the Switch 2, or what they're going to specifically show off.
Now, I always like to go low with these kind of things. Then that way, if they shoot higher, I am happy to be wrong.
Sure.
Lowered
So,
expectations.
I would like, I think really, to be fair, now, we are in 2025 and, 4K has been around for a hell of a long time now, in the world of, technology. But I know we're not going to get 4K natively on the system.
Right.
Nope.
Maybe
Right.
upscaled on, on TV or something like that, or on a monitor or whatnot. I can see that happening. Maybe we can get 2K or something in handheld, or at least stable 1080p. We know 60 frames per second is it really should be in this day and age, but you just don't know what technology they're using. So
Yeah.
if they're still using the NVIDIA Tegra X whatever chip that it is, or
The Tegra X1
whatever
chip.
one
They are not using the Tegra X1 chip this time around. Apparently, according to some of the leaks, it is a new chipset.
Yeah, it'll be the Tegra X2.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh dear. So essentially, what you're saying is that you are hoping, or you're predicting, that there will be some sort of upscaling.
Most definitely, I think, because to be fair, now we've seen the size of the screen. 4K on something that's like 7 or 8 inches, you're really not going to notice that much. Well, me personally,
You're not.
I would
Because of the
notice
size
8
of it.
inches.
No, you are definitely not going to notice at something
is it
like
in
that.
yet?
Oof. Good God.
Justin. Dear. Oh
Yeah.
dear.
I know this bad, isn't
But
it?
yeah, so I reckon there's going to be some upscaling, most likely, because Why not? I mean, like I said, it's going to have a smaller screen anyway, and obviously, if it's got HD, even if it's got at least 1080p on that or 2K, I think
Yeah.
you're going to be happy with that. And then
Sure.
like 4K for playing, because there's no need for it to be 8K.
Of course, yeah.
I see no logic for it to be for 8K. And on top of that, I don't have a capture card that even goes up to 4K, so I'm still in trouble. So I'd have to buy a new Switch and a new capture card.
Right.
True, yeah.
Right.
If I can't handle it.
And I want to clarify this as well, just in case, because someone's going to bound to say this. We did not corroborate any of this beforehand, did we?
Yes.
We did not discuss any of this.
No.
We've left this all aside because first on my list will feature some sort of AI upscaling for older Switch games, DLSS, to increase to 1080p 60 frames per second on all games. That was my first prediction. Yeah, we haven't corroborated any of this at all.
No. I mean, some form of upscaling. I think most definitely, and I don't think it'll be for all games either. So it may be a good number of games, perhaps like Tears of the Kingdom, for example. We already know that Digital Foundry, I think, or some people have found that in Xenoblade Chronicles X. I know we keep saying it, we keep mentioning it, but it's because it's the most recent game, and it has found that it can supposedly run at 60 frames per second and at a higher resolution.
Yeah, someone's gone into the base code for it, but yeah, I said on most, and I specifically stopped this solely at Switch 1 games. I don't know what it's going to be like on the Switch 2 games itself. I stopped myself short on that particular prediction. So, what's your next prediction then for the hardware?
Right, hardware. As for the thing itself, the console itself, I can see it possibly having 64 gigabyte standard, possibly 128.
What, internal memory?
Maybe. Gigabyte internal memory. Yeah, I mean, I think 64 is definitely going to have to be the minimum because I think that's, the OLED's got 64.
Yes,
so it's going to have to be 64 or 128 internal memory. And to be fair, we've seen the size of micro SD cards now, and it can have a terabyte and a half.
Yeah,
there's no real reason why they can't have it in there except for to keep costs down. But then you're going to have to buy an external micro SD card anyway for all the games that you got. So you're going to end up paying for memory space either way.
I still think that there's going to be some sort of low ball when it comes to the internal storage. I mean, it's not one of my predictions, but I see it being 128, and I'm going to go with Danka here. I think it's either going to be 128 or 256.
See, I think kind of with the same logic that Mike's got. Whatever the OLED was released with, that almost has to be their starting point.
Yeah, that's...
Because otherwise, what's the point,
Yeah, but I think...
Apple does that. I'm basing that on Apple's
they do, but
model.
I don't know if they're going to want to have multiple SKUs like they have done with the Switch to start off with, which is why I think it's either going to be 64, 128, or 256. I'm not certain.
Maybe they'll have a 3-tiered model.
It's possible. It is also the fact as well that potentially, and this is rumoured, obviously very heavily rumoured, that they're going to use a newer type of XDSC memory card, which is called an express card, which has faster transfer speed.
Oh, right.
So
right.
that wouldn't surprise me. And I'm just looking at a 256 card on Amazon at the moment. It's about 70 quid. So they're a little bit more expensive, but they will also...
get it at a severe discount.
No, it's more the fact that, these will be the upgradable storage options that you have to buy yourself.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. I don't disagree with you there. I think they're still going to lowball memory on it because they're going to want extendable storage, annoyingly. But
I mean, it is a blessing and a curse because, I mean, obviously they can help keep costs down, but then you have to still buy it anyway. So
yeah, even the Steam Deck has an SD card reader. Even that does.
Maybe not.
So yeah.
Even that.
So my next prediction, I'm going to go with this one. So you will know, Kylie might not know, and the audience might not know as much, but you know the playtests for the Nintendo Switch 2 events are starting to go out soon, and some of the images have been leaking out. Let's say, one by Nintendo officially themselves by accident. But we have now seen that one of the buttons on the Switch 2, is a C button.
Oh.
Yeah. My next prediction is that the C button will be used for game capture and sharing via a new Miiverse-like system, which will be similar to the PlayStation Hint system.
Possibly.
So you know how on Astro's Playroom, when it first came out, the developers were putting up videos of them showing where some of the bots were? I think that's going to be a similar system.
That's an interesting... That would be an interesting path for Nintendo to take, because Nintendo is so much about not sharing.
Yeah, agreed, but a lot of it is user-generated content.
That's what I'm thinking. Like it's an interesting game plan. I think they should, because that's where, like, again, streaming, Twitch, YouTube, Let's Plays, all that kind of stuff. That's where gaming is right now. So that would be a very wise move. It's just very not Nintendo. So that's I think that would be very good on their part.
Agreed.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing that I've found. Now, obviously, we have all, uploaded gameplay and streamed, various different games.
No, never.
But I have never, touch wood. I've never been pulled up for music on a Nintendo game on YouTube. But you go with almost any other game, because of licensed music and stuff like that. It's like, oh no, you can't have this, and we're going to have to put ads on it now, or you have to remove the audio. And it's like, okay, but if the publisher sent me the game to put it on there. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. You have to get in touch with them, and it's like, oh no. But fortunately, some games have a streamer-friendly mode, but
they do,
not a lot.
But also, we do have to remember as well that Nintendo do have some sort of precedent for online sharing when it came to the Wii U, because Mario Kart and Smash Brothers had an upload to YouTube option built within the games.
That's a good point, actually, Pete. That's true, because that was still around about that time where, like, PS, was it 3 at that time, or 4? When they came out on the stage, and they were like, you push this middle button, and it automatically shares, so whatever.
Exactly.
So that's true. But the thing that I'm thinking about, which is so funny, and I think that supports 100% your theory, but the thing I'm thinking about is how many freaking copyright strikes does Nintendo do against content creators? It's...
mostly for music. It's never usually about gameplay.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'm an outside observer, so I only hear about it.
Yeah.
I just know that it's very litigious. Nintendo is very litigious.
Normally, it's a lot for
sharing
videos.
Right.
Videos of, like, general videos or whatever using Nintendo music. But if it's actual gameplay with that music,
okay.
Exactly.
Well, then, yeah.
But then I've seen it so many times on, like, television here, and then you hear, like, the iconic coin sound from like Super Mario Bros. And you think, wait a second, that's copyrighted. How the hell do you use that and get away with it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because nobody watches TV these days, Mike.
No, that is true. It's all about Netflix and chill.
There you go. Right. Do you want to hit us with another prediction for the hardware?
I want to hear what y'all's thoughts are on, like, battery life and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't actually do one for battery life, but we can discuss it briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, it's got to be better than the current Switch. Though saying that, I think it's probably going to be the same, to be honest. So we're looking around between 4 and 7 hours, depending on the game.
I think the lowest we'll get is 2.5 hours on a high intensive game if you've got all the settings maxed. but on a lower end game, it'll probably be 7 hours. So I'll average it between 3 to 6.
Yeah, that's not too far off the current.
So Pete says 3 to 6. I say 4 to 7. So
There you go.
around there.
Yeah,
Just cover the whole base.
We'll go with that.
So
I don't think they're going to change that too much. I don't think they're going to stick a bigger battery in it or whatnot. Maybe a more efficient battery, perhaps.
Yeah.
But
well, what was very interesting is you'll see Danker said, I think 50 watt hours. Danker actually gave me in my chat a very brief lesson on how all that works. Yeah, exactly. It's actually insanely fascinating because I didn't know that could be controlled with software. But anyway, that's boring.
We saw it when it first came out with the Switch and Breath of the Wild, where it was maxing about 2 hours of battery life. Yeah, and people found tweaks and stuff like that, which just blows my mind. But it's Danker says, so better than a Steam Deck, but worse than an Ally, which is what Danker's picking up, I think, this week. The TDP will be crucial for efficiency. Yes. Which, does that change if the screen is an OLED compared to LED? This is where I think some of the problem is. It'll be LCD or LED. We're not too sure. Probably LCD. I don't think the base version is going to have an OLED screen in it. Right. Okay. No, that's interesting. No, that'll be an update later.
In the beginning, it's not.
Right. Okay.
So it'll be more efficient in terms of battery, let's say.
Right.
Anyway, Nana has said something in the chat I will get to in a moment because it does relate to something I'm going to predict as well. So, Mike, next prediction, please.
For hardware, or we're moving on to...
We'll stick with hardware for now because I've got one more that I will bring up.
What color do you think
it'll be? Okay. Ooh, okay, right.
It'll be space grey.
Probably.
Space grey, yeah.
Retro version.
I'm interested to know in just how durable the kick plate is going to be.
Oh, the kickstand.
Because obviously in like the OLED, the kickstand. Yeah. Because obviously, with the OLED, it went to a full, backing, and now this time they've changed it again, haven't they?
Yeah, it's got a full backing, but it's thinner than the OLED one, isn't it?
Yes.
So.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how exactly durable that will be. I mean, obviously on the OLED, it's a godsend really, because the OG one, my Switch, you can't hold it on there for very long. It's not very, very stable, unfortunately. If you stick it on a slightly uneven surface, it just falls over.
Look at that pathetic kickstand.
I saw a lot of people selling 3D printed, either the actual blueprints or the actual completed thing that makes those more stable, and I wonder if Nintendo saw that too. Of course they did, because it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
And if maybe they adopted some of those designs because they are way more stable.
Well, they possibly did when it came to the OLED version, because they already revised the kickstand for that. Mm-hmm. And this one does go a lot lower than the OLED as well.
That's what she said,
according to the video. So.
No.
Anyway, right. So I've got one more prediction. Nana sort of, kind of, somewhat brought it up as well. We're going to see a much newer, more improved and refined version of the HD Rumble, which I think is going to run very similar to the haptic feedback and possibly analog triggers that we get with the PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose we may actually see more about the mouse function.
Oh yeah, I was going on to that as well. But I have a reason that I've left that sort of to the side. But yeah, we're definitely going to see a lot more when it comes to the mouse function. And I think there will be certain games that will show that off. So that, with that said, let's get into some games that we might see, or we're going to predict that might get revealed. So do you want to go first, or shall I take my first obscure one?
You can take your first obscure one, Pete.
Okay.
Is it Mario Paint?
Mario Paint? will be a packing game.
Ooh.
It will be the packing game
We did not
for the
correlate
mouse
before.
functionality.
We did not correlate.
Is that your
As soon as I said mouse punch, he said, "Yeah, we're going to be talking about that." It's like Mario Paint.
Is that
Oh my
actually what your
goodness.
first prediction was? Is that Mario Paint is coming? Oh my god! Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think it's a launch game. I think it's going to be a pack-in game for the system because they're going to want to show off what the mouse functionality is
funny.
all about. And there's no better game to show that off than the game that required a mouse for the SNES.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I mean,
that's where you are
unless
getting
they
that
want to
from.
go really, really left field, and it's everybody 1-2 paint.
Oh, please don't. No, it'll be everybody's 1, 2, 3 paint.
Oh goodness.
Oh dear.
Jesus
Oh, dear.
Christ.
Danker says Mario Party.
Mario
Wii
Party
Party
could also...
comes back.
Wii Party
I mean,
could have... Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a Mario Party. I mean,
Oh, there will
100%.
be, but they've only just released a new one relatively
What was the
recently.
launch? What was the launch titles for the original?
1-2 Switch, Breath of the Wild, Snipper Clips.
Oh, I remember Snipper Clips.
Ooh, maybe another Snipper Clips game that uses the mouse functionality.
Well, we did ask SFB Games, and they said no, but they might be under NDA.
Oh.
Anyway, they already told us what their next game is, basically. So, I'm going to go with another one because I think this is actually in relation to what we've just been talking about. This is going to be to no surprise to anyone, Splatoon 4.
Yeah, well that
But
seems like I just have to.
They're going to introduce the mouse aiming control system.
That would make sense.
So that means
I just saw your mind ticking over there. Go what? Oh,
No, I was just thinking. Yeah, oh yeah, PC gamers. Yes, they use a mouse, don't they?
Yes,
so.
they're gonna have it where the control where the analog is technically on your movement, and then the mouse is gonna be for your aiming, kind of like the gyro controls.
For anyone who's, if Nana wants to clip that and then put in like the modem sound in my head,
Yeah,
as I was
please do.
thinking about that, definitely do. Yeah. Loading, please wait.
You seriously.
Franco Burr. But Pete, what's that game you hate? Mario Sunshine?
Yeah.
Is that the one with the paint?
Yeah.
That's what they'll do.
Oh, I hate you.
Then they can use the mouse.
Yeah.
Aim
okay.
that paint everywhere.
Okay, yeah, fine. I mean,
or
Nana's
clean
got...
or whatever. It's a cleaning game, and I don't remember. I don't know.
Well, Nana's got a list of games. We'll run through those after we've done our predictions, and we'll talk about that because Sunshine might have appeared on there.
Fly Swatter. I'll probably get Fly Swatter as well.
Right, Mike, next game, please.
I just said Fly Swatter.
Oh, is that your actual game?
I'm sure we'll get. No, that's a joke. That's a joke, obviously.
Yeah, okay.
I think we're definitely going to see the next Mario game, and I don't just mean like Mario Kart. We've obviously, seen a little teaser of that before. We're definitely going to see more of Mario Kart there. Oh,
What? What?
no.
I've changed, Mike. It's all gone sideways.
Nintendo hit you.
Yeah, see, I told you. I was watching. Probably got a phone call or something.
Oh, let's hope not. What an ominous moment to get a phone call, which is quite awkward. He probably has. So,
I bet so.
I reckon so.
Tetris. There, I said
Yeah, Tetris will get a game. Of course it
yes.
will. Right. Cool.
I know Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm also concerned that he's halfway for a point here, and I'm like,
I know. And I'm halfway there, living on a prayer. I'm sleepy.
I know you are. We're getting towards the end. I think there'll be a few more that I can add in. So.
Well, we can go to chat. Well,
we can, yeah. So, Nano says, in terms of software, I have a list of things: realistic, Nintendo, next Zelda game / remake, Mario Kart 9, next Mario platformer, Hopium, or yeah, a proper version of 3D Mario All Stars, so 64 Sunshine, Galaxy, and Odyssey. 3D Land and 3D World can be their own thing due to the styles there being super different. I don't disagree with any of that, to be fair. I can't see there being a problem with that. He also said that he can also see them wait on Mario Party. He did also say as well that these probably might get you to play it if there's a Splatoon 4, if there's mouse functionality. Mario Kart 9 will probably get the biggest launch bundle. And I can see them doing Tetris 99 too. So.
I actually could. In all seriousness, I actually could.
I mean, I could as well, because Tetris 99 was brilliant. So. Whoa!
Wow, sorry about that.
Jesus Christ.
Yay, Mike's back!
Sorry.
That's all right. All right,
phone
yeah.
died.
It
was plugged in. It wasn't charging properly.
Okay.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah, it happens.
No,
I've had to go OG with the computer this time.
Oh,
jeez. You have to
yes,
forgive the graphics.
That is fine. So you were talking about 3D Mario.
Yes, I think we're going to see a new 3D Mario, and it's probably going to use the mouse controls as well for that, because why not?
That's hilarious, because I also got 3D Mario, not Odyssey 2. We'll probably release it in October.
Oh my goodness.
Probably.
But some of this is also very dependent on when.
Prime. Yeah.
So, right. Shall I hit you with another?
Yeah, go on then.
I am going to list down a few that I am going to include of third-party support for the system, and they are going to come within the first year of the system launching.
Halo.
Call of Duty, Forza Horizon 5, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Sea of Thieves,
Yes,
Halo the Master Chief
Forza.
Collection.
Yes. Ha! There you go. I mean, they did talk about it. They talked about it years ago.
Yeah, all from Xbox Game Studios. We are going to get FIFA, Madden, and Split Fiction from EA.
Oh, I believe that. I could see that.
We are going to get absolutely nothing from Sony's first-party offerings.
Yes, that is true.
Hang on a second. Did you just say FIFA? But EA doesn't have FIFA anymore.
Oh, that's true. What is it? What do they call it?
It'll be FC 26.
EAFC.
Splitting hairs here.
Yeah, but I think the big one is that it's been dormant from the system all this time, but Madden will finally come to a Nintendo platform.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. In terms of other third-party support, I can see Ubisoft putting a few other games on there, like possibly Star Wars Outlaws, and
Assassin's Creed Mirage. Shadows.
Possibly Shadows if they can get it optimized well enough, but I'm not sure about it. I think.
If they can get it running on the PlayStation 5 first, then maybe they can consider.
In terms of Ubisoft, I think one other title might come. Don't quote me on this. This is a joke. Skull and Bones. Yeah, I know. I was taking the mickey there. Mike, I said Skull and Bones.
I heard Skull and Bones, and then I heard Kiley's reaction to that. Yeah, I'd sooner have Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that in a major way, Xbox is going to be straight out of the gate on this one. I did want to include a bit of a left field one on this one. I wondered whether or not it was gonna come up. I'm going to include it anyway. I don't think it really is going to happen. But this is a grand old wish fulfillment, let's say, with Microsoft heavily supporting the console, I think there's high possibility for a new Banjo game.
Oh, oh!
Possible.
Don't give me hope, Pete.
I
Don't
know,
give me
I'm
hope.
really sorry. I'm really sorry. But yeah,
I'd be happy if they make a Viva Pinata 3.
yeah. In terms of
I
Square
mean,
Enix, yeah. In terms of Square Enix, I think a lot of the big titles are going to be coming alongside the Dragon Quest games. You know, Final Fantasy VII Remake and
Dragon
Rebirth,
Quest
probably.
4 HD 2D remake.
I don't think they're going to announce that just yet. I think, if anything, they might talk about Dragon Quest 12 having something, because they haven't seen that game for a long time. Just had a teaser trailer for that, and that's all. But yeah, I think the big ones are going to be Remake and Rebirth are coming.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7, maybe.
Yeah, that's what it is. Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for third-party support. I can't think of any others at the moment. In terms of what we
big
call
ones
the
that would be
AAAs.
announced during. Yeah, I mean, this is the announcement. Well, no announcement. Right, this is the big presentation for the console. So I really think they need to have a lot of first-party influence in it, and I think having the likes of like Xbox shown as well is going to be a very, very big thing. And I think a lot of people will be talking about that afterwards as well.
Sure.
So obviously that does open the door for other, third-party developers, because it's like, well, hang on a second, if you've got the big first parties there and that, we want too.
Yeah. Sure. So, Mike, hit me up with another gaming prediction, if he hasn't died already.
I think he's plugging in something. Laptop.
Oof. Everything appears to be dying.
It's one of those knots.
It is. It is. Oh dear. So, Nana's put, I do think that they'll bring MLB The Show, due to it being huge in Japan, so highly possible. Is out there. Wish would be Final Fantasy 9 Remake and Final Fantasy Tactics Remake. I hope they have a Tactics Remake. Like, I know that came on the Nvidia GeForce Now leak. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a thing, but I'm not sure it's quite ready yet.
Right.
But we'll see. Let's wait.
I'm getting very sleepy.
I know, we're getting there, alright? Just chill out. Just chill out.
I'm getting very sleepy.
Ah! What's happened? Ah, there we go.
I do apologise. I
Fine.
really do. It's because I unplugged my computer to put my phone on charge, and then of course my computer dies, and it's like
we figured. So, Mike, just before I said before, you might have died. Next game prediction. We'll do one more each before we talk about the last couple of things that we will do.
Okay. Then.
Kylie's getting sleepy apparently.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling, and it's going to get late for me as well.
I know.
Because I got work really early in the morning. Right, so yeah, games. Let's talk games. I mean, obviously it'd be nice to see a new Zelda game, but I think it might be a bit too soon for that. But maybe we'll get something teased. I don't know, or maybe a Zelda spin-off, perhaps.
Haha, that's hilarious. Because remember, we have not corroborated these lists in any way, shape, or form.
Great minds think alike, Pete. Yeah.
Legend of Zelda, new game in the series, late 2026. In the meantime, either Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD re-release for 2025.
Yep. I can definitely see something like that happening. Mind you, would it still be HD remake, or would it be Twilight Princess 4K?
yeah, but it's just the Wii U ones that were stuck there are just going to be released.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can see that happening.
My other two were that Metro Prime 4 gets its full release date, and I reckon September 2025. But we'll go more. We'll talk. Well, I don't think we need to talk more about that, because the big one that I had was there'll be a huge focus on the new Mario Kart. It will be Mario Kart 9, or actually, I don't even think it will be 9. I think it's going to be Mario Kart X. So it will have a focus on the new mechanics. So it will be the 24 players, both offline and online. And the new feature itself will be the gas tank system. So boost will cost you gas. You will have to refuel at times, kind of like F-Zero style. There'll be new playable characters and new courses, of course. So there'll be some old returning courses, but they'll get a redesign, kind of like what they've done with Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart Wii. You know, they'll have the new and the retro, let's say. I'm not going to go into any of the courses that I think that will return, because a lot of the courses that we wanted to return did return in 8. So, in terms of new playable characters, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some new Nintendo representatives somewhere. So, not quite Inkling, not quite Link, we might have Captain Falcon.
May do.
Yeah.
May do. I mean, why not?
And it will also have some new online modes. It will have the revised battle mode, but it will also have classic battle mode as well, playable online too.
I can definitely get behind that. I mean, I've had a lot of fun playing the battle mode, including online, especially with like the Together We Play community.
They were fun.
Fun times. They were fun times.
Yeah.
It gets absolutely manic. Absolutely manic. But it was a lot of fun.
And my final prediction for it is launch game. I'll get into that more in a minute, because the next part was NSO. Do we see anything else being added to the NSO service?
Well, they are definitely winding it down now, aren't they? I mean, when was the last game for the Nintendo 64 online?
Don't know.
I think it was Perfect Dark, wasn't it? I think
it possibly was.
And then it's like they haven't, and then like the SNES has had a few games added. It's had like Nobunaga's Ambition and like some of the like Romance of Three Kingdoms, that kind of games from Koei Tecmo have been added this Friday, I think it was.
They were, yeah.
And then there has been a couple of Mario Picross was the week or 2 weeks before as well, and that was released with another game on the Nintendo Switch Online. But it'll be interesting to see how that translates over onto the Nintendo Switch 2. Are they just going to, bring over all the catalogues, or are they going to start it all again from scratch?
I think they bring it all over. I think all of it's going to be brought over. It's also going to be playable on the Switch 1 as well. But there will be something that will be locked solely behind the Switch 2, and it will be part of the premium package.
Thank you.
Correct. Which is why we haven't got Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3 re-releases, because they will be coming to the NSO service for GameCube.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense.
But I also think that there's going to be an issue with that, because there will be a price increase. They may not announce it.
Well, I'll definitely be hitting you up then for that, Pete.
Don't worry.
Hey, Pete, they're increasing.
Don't worry. I will make sure that I pay you in full. I think there'll be a price increase. I'm not sure how much the pricing will increase, but they'll... Part of me does also wonder, this is a lowball... Well, not a lowball. This is a far-out sort of prediction. The reason for the price increase, not just the GameCube games, will be that they might start including dedicated servers for online play.
Maybe. I mean, you got to think, if they're doing like Mario Kart and they've got like up to 24 players online, that's going to take up a lot of server space.
And that's why I think that they're probably going to increase it. They're going to increase the service to try and make it a little bit more playable online. So...
It makes you also wonder, like, now you also touched upon, like, Splatoon 4 before, and it's like, well, what is going to be their gimmick this time? Are they going to have 4 teams duking it out?
No.
Or expand the roster?
I think they're gonna keep it to 2 teams, but 2 teams of 8, and increase map size.
Mm. Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
That's going to be wild.
Booyah. Anyway, so we'll go on to the last thing, and this is probably the most important. Price and release date.
Right. Well, I think release date.
Or release window, let's
Yeah,
go.
we'll say a window. I think window. I think Q3 is probably going to be safe to say. But it could very well be late Q3. So we could be talking September.
September,
time.
October.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's plenty of time for that.
I can possibly see that happening. So that they get it out, get it ready. People start mass buying, September time because, why have it out in August when people are, be able to have time off and actually enjoy these games?
Mm-hmm.
No, wait till they're back at school, back at work, and then that's when they release it. Yep. And then you've got December for them to, really, really get the production ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
I can potentially see that happen.
Okay, and a price?
Price. Right, so if we say in the UK, the Switch OLED is how much?
300.
300?
So the Switch launched at 280 originally,
280.
and I think the Switch OLED was 320.
320. Right. So I could potentially see it probably going about 100 up and be like three from the OG Switch being around about 380, 400 pounds, I think. And that to me still sounds like a lot of money. And I know there's been rumours going around and whatnot saying about 499, and I'm thinking if it's 499, no one's buying it.
Oh, well, because
people will buy it. Yeah. People will buy it, but
well, I think that is quite interesting because I'll go into mine. £400. 450 with Mario Kart.
That's what Danker says. 450.
Yep, I think there will be a Mario Kart bundle for £450. But I'm gonna go with a different release date here. I'm not going with your Q1 or Q3 or whatever you call it. Because if you've noted what some of my release dates were, that would mean they fall out of that particular period. I think the pre-orders will open a week after this direct. So April 9th for a June release date.
Again, that's what Danker says.
I know, that's why I was bringing it up. But that's actually what I wrote down.
I can see it.
If they do it in American ease, they could release it June 9th, and then it would be released on 6/9. And that's what I contribute to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
To be fair, I'll give you a little bit of reasoning behind why I would like it to release in September. And it's because, obviously, I'm still just finishing off my course. I'm now doing work experience as an electrician, which hopefully afterwards for the summer I'll actually be working. I haven't been working on and off for the last 4 years now. I was studying, so I need to get the money together so I can buy the ruddy thing.
Yeah, of course.
If it comes out in June, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, totally understandable.
Until September.
Yeah. Whereas
that makes perfect sense.
Whereas a little bit different because I have been working and I got a bonus from work. I have left some money aside solely for it, which would explain my nice shiny Steam Deck as well. Because of last year's wedding and spending all my money on that, I decided I'm treating myself this year.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yes. So, and Danker put, someone's been listening to Sources. Yes, I might have been listening to Sources. But I do strongly believe not from the sources.
Almonds. Oh, wrong sources.
Yeah, I'm a HP man,
HP.
You know.
Yeah, you look like a HP man. Yeah.
God damn it. I think I might have been listening to sources, but I think some of them are accurate in some degree. Like,
yeah.
And considering that the sources have been that, I think it's Walmart Canada have stated that the pre-orders are possibly opening on April 9th. I think that just shows that there's going to be a little bit of a sooner release time for it. Plus the shipping manifestos that were going out in January and stuff like that. It was just... I think there's a lot to point, and this is a lot sooner than we think it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And also, did,
the goodwill
like
that... like you were saying, like with like Metroid Prime 4 and like Pokemon, maybe one of the reasons why we haven't had release dates is because they're waiting for the Switch 2 to come out, because they probably will be on the Switch 2 or playable on Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
So they will give the release dates then.
Yeah, absolutely. I think mostly as well is that they're going to want to capitalise massively on these hands-on experiences. They're not going to want it to be in the forefront of people's mind between the end of like April and whenever it finishes in like May, and then go, oh yeah, you've got another 6 months to launch. Nah, these are a lot sooner than people think they are. It's going to be like, well, it's out in about another month maybe after these are done. So yeah, right. And just for parity, we did not corroborate any of these again, just so you know.
No.
Me neither.
No, because Kiley was very invested. So, yeah, that's us for now. So check back next week when Mike will thankfully be joining us again, and we can obviously go over how incredibly wrong we were.
Oh, I'm most definitely wrong, Matt, I am.
No.
Frickin' hell, Mario Paint as a packing title. I'm reaching so hard there.
That's what she said.
Fly swatter.
Yeah.
They got to make that mouse work somehow.
Yep. But I think
that might not even be an actual game. It might just be already on the system. It's just like a small like, micro game kind of thing. Yeah. That screensaver thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we never said anything about are they going to have themes and wallpapers?
No.
That is for another time.
No, they are not. Moving on. Let's put Kiley out of her misery.
Yeah. I'm done. I just wanted to interject that. I'm done. I'm finished.
As much as I love spending time with these guys,
I drank too much.
I did drink.
It's sleepy time.
It's sleepy time
late.
for me.
It's sleepy time.
Yeah.
It's Betty Buy's time.
I do love my sleep.
Kiley, go night.
Go night night. Yes. No, yawns, because I'll start copying.
We'll start yawning.
Stop.
Oh gosh.
Don't start counting sheep.
No, don't do that.
One,
at least we know that's okay. But
End
we
it
hope
now.
you've enjoyed this episode.
Kylie prefers to count tequila.
Oh, 1 tequila, 2 tequila.
1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila. Flop.
She's so drunk she can't even say tequila.
I said tequila. But we do hope you've enjoyed.
On that note, right? Why did the Mexican push his wife off a cliff? Tequila!
Oh. So bad.
That
was great! How have I not heard that? I probably have heard that, but while I was drunk on tequila.
More than likely.
Yeah. But that is going to do it for us.
Yes.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode. The Nintendo folks out there, because we do have, I think a majority of our listeners are Nintendo centric.
Maybe, or they just
players.
or they have a focus on Nintendo because they're different.
Maybe that. But that leads me to say, Mike, best friend of the show, where can they find you out there in Never Neverland?
Well, you can find us over on our website, Miketendo64.com. We are also on what is formerly known as Twitter, Blue Sky. We are also on YouTube as well. We post a lot of gameplay videos, and we've doing our Game and Chat podcast. We invite members of the gaming community and industry to join us to play some of their favourite games, including these two lovely folks, Kylie and Pete have been on the podcast, and I would love to have them on again very,
Yes.
very soon. Maybe Doom. Maybe we should play Doom Eternal, because that's got
Yeah.
like 2v1 mode, isn't it? Maybe
There
we could do
is,
that
yeah.
sometime. Pete does
That'd
not
be
look
fun.
enthused, but Kylie's definitely in.
I've not played Doom Eternal. Jesus, like that would be bad, but I can do it.
Oh, absolutely. It'd be a lot of fun.
If you're making me play everybody's golf, I'm making you play Doom Eternal.
There you
go. There we go. That's the deal.
Sounds like fun.
Yay! Irony.
No, I'm fine with it. Just get to play more games.
Well, there you go. That's the bottom line to all of it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, I think, for me.
Okay.
Mike, what about that Discord that you have?
Oh, yeah, we also have a Discord as well, yeah. Miketendo 64. It's still growing, obviously, you know,
That's what she said.
we're using it. We are using it more and more. We do have some lovely people over there, including Pete, who helps run one of the, the channels, I believe they're called?
Yeah, the
So we've
channels.
got the Rapid Reviews channel there, so it helps share a lot of, like, the, like, when streams are going
Thank
live
goodness.
and stuff like that. We also have, my good friend at the Elite Institute has also got his own channel. Goldie over at Nintendo Village has got a channel on there as well, so he can, you know, plug the stuff and just make a general, like, directory, so anybody who's, you know, in our Discord would like to see some great content, well, we try to get these lovely folks to post it on there for us.
Yes, I try my best. Not always.
Same here, mate. I need to do more. I really do. I need to do more.
We all could do more. Tequila shots. But Pete, where can they find you?
Miketendo 64 Discord. No, you can actually find me there. You can find me on the Rapid Reviews UK Discord as well. I'm in a few others. I post some of the stuff on Twitter X, whatever you would call it these days, whatever that burning hellscape is, and Blue Sky, where I post
the artist formerly known as Twitter.
That is true, yeah. So we're over on Blue Sky as well. Just search up Rapid Reviews Radio. The podcast and that go out on Spotify and YouTube, video versions on both. So search Rapid Reviews on YouTube and you'll be able to find this here episode as well. But you can also hear me and my friend Kurt Lewin on the Never Watches Film podcast for Film and TV. We released an episode a couple of days ago on The Damned United, the football film about Brian Clough. And you'll have to go and listen to it to see what we thought about that film. And we're currently doing Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff as well, but that as and when it comes out at the moment. So yeah, that's on most podcast players at the Never Watchers. Kiley?
Sweet. Yeah, well, I ain't on nothing.
Strap in, guys. This is going to be a while.
Yeah. Strap in, strap on. I am not on any social media platforms because I don't do it. I'm above it. No, I'm kidding. I'm just lazy.
Where's that
I'm
Steam Deck?
literally, shut up. They are horrible. No, it's because I'm lazy.
You can't say anything, Kiley. I heard you playing games whilst we were talking Nintendo.
What? You don't know what I was doing. But,
Damn it, it's our battery.
that's what she said.
I was not playing games. I was watching porn. I was playing games. Yes.
If you know, nope, not going there.
God
But
damn it, it's actually our battery.
I am not on anything except twitch.tv/KILEY_WILDE, which sounds like a radio station. I am on TikTok under Kylie Wilde.
Yes.
I could make a joke, but I can't. Please go watch my TikTok. It is suffering.
Yeah.
It is suffering under my content. It's awful. But
It's
and I am on
suffering under the weight of my
TikTok is
unburdening talent.
Crazy. TikTok is crazy because, like, you'll post something that's really, really genuine, really, really funny that you'd like, and your community will like, and it just will not get the traction. And then my brother posted the other day something about the Pokemon ZA Megas League.
Oh wow!
And it's had over 400,000 views.
Jesus!
See, I can't figure it out. Or get this. This is what's crazy. I can post the same clip, which I shouldn't do, but I get lazy. I can post the same clip to YouTube Shorts as I do on TikTok. YouTube Shorts will take off. I'll have 4,000 views on a short, and I'll get 77 views on that same exact short on TikTok. Yeah. It's just different audiences, and I can't figure it out.
And then it goes the other way.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
On TikTok, what's it? And then it shoots off somewhere else, and on.
Or like I'll get super lazy, and I'll be like, this clip has zero like there's nothing. It's just a generic clip that I just took randomly, and I'll throw that up on TikTok, and then it will get like hundreds of views, and I'm like, what? I didn't even there's nothing in it.
Yeah, it's like your Split Fiction I Can't Drive clip that got views for some reason.
Yeah, and it's like, what? Yeah, so please, all of that.
Way to pander to the what's it? The patriarchy, Kylie.
Yes,
I can't drive. Yeah. Pander to it.
Embrace the patriarchy. No, if you can go over to my TikTok and give me some pity views, I will appreciate it. But also, yes, go follow me on YouTube as well. Because that's where I post my post streams. Yes.
Oh my god.
On Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I stream over on not TikTok, Twitch. I actually have permission to stream on TikTok. I got special permission, but I'm too lazy to do the vertical window. So I'm just like, frick it. Caught myself. But
8 hours later.
Yeah.
17 hours later.
Exactly. But we do have a lot of fun over on my Twitch. Come join the chat. We will cheer you up. We'll give you a great day, and you will walk away with a smile on your face. At least I hope so.
I did when we played Perfection. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. And sometimes on Saturdays I play. I think that's going to do it because I kind of forgot everything that I said. And I'm really sleepy. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Be sure you tune in next week. Which means I've kind of walked in on my own sign off, which is we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Rapid Reviews Radio podcast. You can find the podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and various other podcast platforms. You can also find the video version by searching Rapid Reviews on YouTube and watch the podcast recording live on Twitch at twitch.tv/rapidreviews at 7:30pm UK time every Sunday. Please make sure to follow the podcast on Twitter at RRRadiopod, and for all the latest reviews, visit www.rapidreviewsuk.com or on Twitter at RapidReviewsUK.